Being a Cleveland Browns fan means carrying a certain kind of resilience in your heart because we have seen every high and every crushing low imaginable. Right now, there is a vibe shifting inside the building that might leave many of you feeling very uneasy about our future under center. As an insider who spends every day around this team, I can tell you that the decision being made right now is a major turning point. We need to discuss why the locker room is suddenly bracing for impact. Deshaun Watson is currently holding the inside track to be the starting quarterback for our beloved Cleveland Browns this upcoming season. This news comes directly from the latest voluntary install practices where the coaching staff has been closely watching how the veteran handles the new playbook. Our new head coach, Todd Monken, is reportedly looking to make an official announcement before we even reach training camp, which puts a massive amount of pressure on the young and talented Shedeur Sanders. This timeline gives the young prospect only about 6 weeks to close the gap. And right now, that gap looks wider than many fans expected. General Manager Andrew Berry has been navigating a very tricky situation this offseason, especially during the NFL draft process. We know the front office had a very high evaluation of Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson, and they were seriously considering him as a potential future for this franchise. However, when the Los Angeles Rams moved quickly to take Simpson at the 13 spot, Berry had to pivot and focus on building the infrastructure around the players already in the building. This led to the selection of other positions and eventually the addition of another developmental arm, Talon Green, in the 6th round. If the Browns had been able to secure Simpson, this entire conversation about a competition might have been over before it started. But because they didn't, we are looking at a scenario where the veteran is getting the nod despite a very complicated history here in Cleveland. The financial reality is that the team still owes him $46 million, and that massive contract is a weight that the organization is clearly still trying to justify. Even though Sanders has shown flashes of brilliance and is incredibly popular with the fan base, the leadership seems intent on giving the veteran one more chance to prove he can still play at an elite level. This decision will define the season and perhaps the entire tenure of this current regime. We are watching a high-stakes gamble where the established starter is being given the keys to the car once again, while the future waits in the wings. The decision to keep the veteran in the top spot is one that sparks a lot of debate among those of us who follow the team every single day. We have to look at the reality of his performance over the last few years to understand why this feels like such a monumental risk for the organization. He has not managed to complete a full season since the league moved to a 17-game schedule, which is a major concern for a team with playoff aspirations. Since joining us, he has dealt with a series of devastating setbacks, including a broken shoulder and 2 separate Achilles tendon ruptures. It is hard for any athlete to come back from those kinds of injuries, let alone a quarterback who relies on his mobility and timing to be successful. However, the coaching staff seems to believe that he still possesses the raw talent that once made him a superstar in this league. They are betting that a full offseason in this new system will allow him to rediscover the magic that has been missing for so long. On the other side of the field, the young challenger is working hard to learn the nuances of the professional game. He has expressed that he really appreciates how the current offensive staff understands his specific learning style, and he feels like they are speaking life into his career. This emotional connection is important, but the clock is ticking loudly. The veteran has always been known for being a great practice player, someone who looks like $1 million when there are no defenders trying to take his head off. The real test has always been what happens when the lights are bright and the game is on the line. Many fans are wondering if we are simply repeating the mistakes of the past by prioritizing the expensive veteran over the promising newcomer. The logic of building for the long term would suggest giving the young man the reps he needs to grow, but the front office is clearly feeling the pressure to win right now. They want to see if the investment they made years ago can pay off. What this really comes down to is the immediate future of our season and how it will impact the next several years for the franchise. If the team decides to stick with the veteran and he struggles or gets hurt again, it could lead to another year of frustration for a fan base that has already been through so much. We all want to see this team win more games, and the quarterback position is the most important piece of that puzzle. Choosing the experienced player is the safe move in the eyes of the coaches, because they know what he is capable of when he is healthy. They believe his knowledge of the game can help the team navigate a difficult schedule, but there is a very real danger in this approach. If the young quarterback stays on the bench, we are losing valuable time to see if he can be the long-term solution for this city. We saw what he could do in limited action last year, and there were moments where he looked like he could be the real deal. He has a way of connecting with the fans and the locker room that is very special. If he plays well, the team doesn't have to worry about finding a new leader in the upcoming drafts, which would be a huge relief. It would allow the front office to spend money on other areas of the team, like the offensive line or the defense, to build a championship roster. This is very similar to what other successful teams have done in the past, where a young player on a cheap contract allows the rest of the team to be loaded with talent. By choosing the veteran, the Browns are choosing a path that is filled with more questions than answers. It feels like they are trying to make a bad situation work instead of moving on to a brighter future. Every game he plays is a gamble with the team's momentum. If he fails, it won't just be a loss on the field. It will be a setback for the entire organization that could take years to fix. The tension in the building is palpable as we look at the two very different paths this season could take. In the best-case scenario, the veteran finds his old form and leads this team deep into the postseason. He becomes the leader we all hoped he would be when the trade first happened. The offense flows perfectly, the points pile up, and the city of Cleveland finally gets the winning football it deserves. In that world, the decision to start him looks like a stroke of genius by the coaching staff. But we also have to face the worst-case scenario, which is a reality we have seen too often. If he struggles early or his body gives out on him again, the season could fall apart before it even really begins. The fans will be calling for the young backup almost immediately, and that kind of pressure can create a toxic environment in the locker room. It's a very thin line between success and failure in the NFL. The young quarterback is standing there ready to go, and he has the support of a lot of people who want to see him succeed. He brings a fresh energy and a new hope to a franchise that needs it. If the team waits too long to make a change, they might waste a great defense and a talented group of wide receivers. We have seen this story before, where a team holds on to the past for too long and misses out on a golden opportunity. The stakes couldn't be higher for everyone involved. If the veteran succeeds, he saves his career and the reputation of the front office. If he fails, it likely means a total reset for the coaching staff and the management. This is why every practice and every throw is being analyzed so closely. The decision to favor experience over potential is a classic football dilemma, but in Cleveland, it feels even more intense. We are all holding our breath, hoping for the best but prepared for the challenges ahead. The next few weeks will tell us everything. To sum it all up, the Cleveland Browns are at a massive crossroads with their quarterback situation. The news that the veteran is leading the race over the young talent is a move that has everyone talking. It is a decision based on high salaries and the hope of past glory, but it carries a risk that could define the next decade of football in our city. We all want what is best for the team, but sometimes it's hard to agree on what that path looks like. The coaches are betting on experience, while many of us are looking at the potential of the future. Be honest with me, would you trust the veteran one more time? Or is it time to let the young man take over the huddle? We want to hear your thoughts down in the comments because your passion is what makes this team great. Before you go, make sure to hit that like button if you love the Browns as much as we do. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss an insider update on our favorite team. We'll be here every step of the way.